Hi, welcome back to the Harpreet Singh Show, and you're watching Tania's Truth Talk. Before the commercial break, we were talking with Monica Foster, former porn star that's done over 35 movies, former exotic dancer, former call girl, currently on Skype right now from Vegas, and she is currently a live webcam girl. So Monica, you know, just before the commercial break, we were talking about the transferring of the spirits. And you said that after that conversation, it was very hard for you to go back to work after that. So I guess some of that, you know, gave you a bit of revelation.
Yeah, I've been very fortunate throughout what I consider to be my departure from adult, which seems to be taking forever, but still, I've had some very phenomenal women in my life influence me
Right.
to be brave enough to take those steps. And, you've been the most recent one, which has been amazing, but it's very difficult to
Right.
look at yourself honestly and to really listen
Yes.
to someone, especially when they've been where you've been, and look at the reality.
Well, it's easier
That's
to
the
relate to
most
somebody
difficult
that's
thing to
been in
do
it,
when
because
you're leaving.
people that are out of it, they just don't get it. They don't understand what we've been through or feel our pain or our shame. And you'd mentioned to me in a conversation before that the adult industry actually broke you.
Yeah, yeah. My breaking point was when my family members were brought into the equation, and this was well after I'd shot my last movie. Um, there's a lot of harassment on various forums and websites and blogs, specifically targeted towards
Yes.
ex porn stars, especially if they start to speak out. And in my particular case, there was a particular
Right.
forum that was naming real names of people, that was, following
Right.
whatever that person was doing later in their life. And this particular forum named my mother, my father, my sister,
Mm.
put up their addresses, their employers, all kinds of stuff. And that's really uh, my biggest fear when I was working in the industry was that my parents and their reputations would be
Yes,
tied
well, it
into
can
the
definitely
bad
damage
choices
the
that I had made.
family
And
as
if
well, you know, because I'm sure it must be painful for any parent to even fathom that their daughter is doing that. Now, you had mentioned to me that when you were younger, that your dad drank a bit and he psychologically was abusive. And um, the reason I bring this up, Monica, is because I tell so many people when I travel internationally and I speak on the topics of human trafficking that it always starts in the home, you know. And then you mentioned to me later that when you got into porn and prostitution, that it gave you a false sense of empowerment, which is all too common of what I hear from these young girls. It starts in the home, either psychologically abused, sexually abused, physically abused, and when they get into the industry, it gives them a false sense of empowerment. But then later, like you're saying now, that the industry broke you because it's been chipping away at your soul.
Yeah, well, I think it really held my soul
Mm,
literally hostage for a while. I feel like
right.
I really got my soul back, and that was through a lot of prayer. Getting back to in the beginning of this broadcast, you asked me why I call myself a Christian porn star, and that website is a video blog of my thoughts, but it's also to bring awareness to other adult entertainers that the only way you're going to get away from these people is by letting Jesus
Preach
into your
it,
life. That's what I
sister.
firmly believe.
That is so true,
There's
because I'm going to tell, I'm so glad that you said that,
that's what
because
it
the
is.
statistics show that less than 3% of women that are in prostitution get out. Their average length of stay is 30 years and they're sold until they die. They have the highest suicide rate over anybody. A
Mhm.
prisoner of war, 74% of the men that are prisoners of war that fight on the front lines in combat, seeing people slaughtered, are diagnosed with post-traumatic stress disorder, yet a woman that is in the sex trade on any level, whether she's a jet-setting escort, is 14% higher than a prisoner of war. So even though the statistics show that less than 3% get out, with me being a former madam, employing well over 500 prostituted women and now rescuing hundreds of them, I can tell you that the stats are even closer than that. And I've seen a lot of women get out, but the only ones I've really seen get out and actually stay out and never go back in were the ones that fully surrendered their lives to Jesus Christ. Bang on, girl.
You have to do that. You have to consistently reaffirm that Jesus has your soul, because when you do start to speak out, I think that's when Satan and that satanic energy starts coming even more after you, more harshly after you, because Satan doesn't want you to get all this out there.
True,
because it sounds so
speaking in the spiritual world,
wild,
right now, being in the adult industry, the devil has you right where he wants you. So now that you're speaking out against it, while you're speaking out against it, you're trying to get out while you're still in it, you will get a lot of flack from followers on the internet. You will get a lot of flack from pornographers and stuff like that. But you need to remember that you are a daughter of the Lord, and no weapon formed against you shall prosper, but they will go and they will pierce their own hearts. Just read Psalms 37. It talks about that. You know, and it's true. And but you know, just be prepared that when attacks do come on you, that it's when the devil's leaving you alone that you need to start to worry. But when the devil starts attacking you, that's when you just need to plow right through that, because that's when you know that you're doing something good for God's kingdom, when the devil's going to start attacking you that hard.
That's an interesting thing for you to say. When the devil leaves you alone, that's when you need to worry.
That's right. So I mean, when in my business, I'm under attack all the time, you know, because I'm winning souls to Christ all the time. And when I'm under attack, that's when I just get on my knees and I start praising Jesus, because the devil's mad. He's angry. I'm winning souls to Christ. Yeah. That's when I got to start glorifying him.
Yeah, you do.
But you know what? I think that God will make a way when there is no way. And you had mentioned to me earlier that the main thing that is preventing you, even more so than the money, from getting out of the adult industry is your faith. But that's the one and only thing that God really, really, really asks of us, is to have blind faith, because your blind faith will move mountains. And just remember my testimony, okay? When I walked away from everything, I was living in my car for 9 months. I was going to the food bank, and that was just 3 years ago. I was homeless. Now I have found to Save the Women. God gave me a talk show, and He's providing. He is your provider, and He will make a way when there's no way, Monica. And I say that to any of the girls that are watching that are from the adult industry, that just turn to Jesus. He will make a way.
Yes, and don't feel embarrassed to turn to Jesus, because when you're in that world, people will try to belittle Jesus and belittle God and make you feel like you're crazy or that you're insane. And I mean, the things that they say in regards to bashing God and Jesus are just disgusting. And I really think that, I mean, it's obviously a tactic to keep the women in, but it's just so hard for women to break free of that and to break free of that mentality.
It's bondage. But you know what? I have a feeling that God has had His hand on you this whole time, Monica. And I believe that you are meant for much far greater things than what you are doing. And I believe that you will get out. And I believe that God is going to turn this boat around, and that you are going to be used mightily for His kingdom, and you are going to be a warrior princess for Him, and you too will be helping other women get out. And this is just the beginning of it.
Well, I really hope so, and thank you for your prayer the other day, because it really did it hit home for me. You know, I feel that you definitely raised some spiritual energy over on this end, but you also raised a lot of spiritual energy within me, and I needed that particular day.
Well, I love you, and you're a daughter of the King Most High. You are His precious and prized daughter, regardless of doing porn or anything like that. And just remember that through your walk, that Jesus Christ is there walking along your side every step of the way, and He's weeping alongside of you. He just wants you to turn to Him, and He will make a way when there is no way, and He will set your path straight. And thank you so much for coming on the show, Monica. It's been such a blessing to have you.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for watching Tania's Truth Talk on the Harpreet Singh Show. What an amazing lady. Tune in next week. There are more great stories to come.